Hello everyone, it's AJ, and today we have a brand new chapter of Bungo Stray Dogs Dazai Chuuya 15 years. Woohoo! So we're now at phase 10 / chapter 10, and oh, it's getting good. Like I say, it's getting good. It's just like always good. Not very biased at all, because obviously with it being a 15 manga chapter review, that also means it is a Hoshikawa art appreciation video, because damn, especially this chapter, holy fuck is the goods there. Oh, like even just the first like opening, like, oh yes, oh, banging, absolutely banging. Oh, so let's go. So we start off the chapter, not even like, well, it's like a prelude kind of into the chapter, just a wee warm up, and it's all dark, it's all spooky. It's like literally the first page is literally just blank, and it just says phase 10. Like, here we go, we're starting off solid, because now we're going into this eerily, like, kind of creepy ass like atmosphere. And well, if you know the story, you clearly know who like the wee figure is, because you clearly see it's Chuuya, and just like the depictions of what must be going through his head, because it's obviously like Chuuya has no fucking clue about his past at this point. So like this is basically like his memories, and it's just like him just in a wasteland of like muddledness of like, oh, it's just so good. Sorry, I just can't get over it. It's so creepy and eerie, and it's just like so clearly isolating, just thinking about like obviously when Chuuya like inserts himself into where like he's either far away or you can see like behind his head and whatnot, like just this isolating like emptiness that he feels, and it hurts obviously, because if you love Chuuya, it just hurts. Like, why? So you get these beautiful illustrations, which is why I need for the, oh, like I will throw so much money. I don't have a lot of money, I'm poor as fuck, but like metaphorically, if I was rich as fuck, I want Hoshikawa to do fucking Stormbringer manga. And I know for a fact that they love the series, they love Stormbringer, because they were tweeting about it when like the play was going out and everything like that. So after they do 15, which will be ending shortly, given about where we are now in the story, I need them to do Stormbringer, because it is gonna be so fucking good. Like, all the horror elements that are in Stormbringer, fuck yeah. Just like this intro alone, yes. So, I need that. But eventually, so, we have Chuuya as an isolated figure within this dreary, like, fucking atmosphere, and just, like, a wee light just, like, develops, like, behind him, and then it is a hand that goes, grabs him, and then, woo, big burst, and then we get another black screen, although, this time, it says, it says and then like blank is born, but it sounds more funny. It says like and thus. I feel like it should be elegant enough to be like and thus blank was born. Obviously we know what the blank is if you know the story, but yeah. So we may as well just actually now go into the actual chapter now. So we're joining Dazai and Rando up at the abandoned like ship pier, like cargo hold bit, and Dazai's throwing Chuuya the little party, and he is so fucking proud of himself over this little setup. He's got the food, he's got the banners, oh my god, he's so adorable putting up the fucking button. He's so excited, and his wee face, especially like I love the fact that the button goes from like one panel to the next panel, like, and it like conjoins, and he's just so excited because it's very long, because that's why it's excited, because the button is very long. Honestly, the simple things. Bless his sweet soul. He's probably, oh god, I've just thought about this. He's probably never had a party. Wow, that thought just hurt myself. Agent just hurt themselves. Oh no! Yeah, I'm just gonna like ignore I said that. So let's go back to the party. So Dazai being all proud of himself and everything like that, but like, look, this party is clearly for Chuuya, and has a big like fucking banner of it. It's like celebration of like Chuuya's liberation from the sheep. Just a big ass banner being like, hey, congrats on getting out of the sheep because I'm nicking you. And he's like set up all nice, and then Rando just goes like, yeah, this party clearly screams, I'm gonna kill you. And Dazai's just like brushing. I was like, what do you mean? I've got all this great food, all these drinks, like great music, and he'll be surrounded by great friends. Like, what more can you ask for? And then Rando just goes, yeah, and like the pitfall just like underneath there, just what every party needs. And it's just like, yeah, it's my special trap for him. It's like, you're celebrating he's getting out, and then it's like, hey, I'm just going to kill you. Yay! You get your freedom for like 2 seconds with this party. Literally like 2 seconds, you come in, and then you fall through the pitfall. As you do, Dazai. As you do. But he is so proud to like explain how this whole trap is going to work. He's like, I'm going to lure the sheep into this like celebration. Chuu's going to be like, oh my god. And then literally immediately he's going to fall down this hole where it's all muddy and shit, because I've worked out the best way how to like get around his ability, because there's going to be no floor, so he can't like bounce off of anything, and mud, he can't really get rid of that through his like gravity manipulation, so he's fucked that way. But don't you worry, there's a bonus star in this whole party, and it's like a 20 kilogram of like fucking flour just getting dumped all over him. Also, like, he makes a little point. He's like, yeah, just more than that would be classed as like romantic. He's like, why are you thinking about getting covered in flowers romantic? I don't know if that's me coming from a baker. I'm just like, yeah, getting covered in flowers is not romantic. It might look like that in like the fucking films and shit, but yeah, I've never came across a moment where me getting covered in flour is just like romantic. But anyway, the fact that Chuuya's just not Chuuya, Dazai is like, oh yeah, like we cover him in flour just a wee bit more than what would be classed as romantic. It's like, you've already confessed your fucking love for this boy, and now you're thinking about how it's going to be like, you just want to go the slightly more romantic, well, less romantic, because it's technically more than being romantic, but throwing flour on top of him, because it's going to suffocate him. Because the combo of the mud from the pitfall and all this flour, if it's going to fill up every little particle that he can't like fucking manipulate out or whatever, he's going to be having to focus so much and like round about his mouth and his nose so that he can breathe rather than the rest of him, but he's going to fucking suffocate. All the while he's like, yes, it's going to be so glorious, and he's going to like curse me out and everything like that. All the while, right, he's just munching on a fucking strawberry. Like, what the fuck does that? I love it, but still, like, he's just chilling with a strawberry, and then, rightfully so, Rando is looking at him like, what the actual fuck is wrong with you? Scared shitless, as a normal person would be, for this wee lad who is fucking 15 has just went on this huge explained so well in detail about how he's going to kill another 15-year-old and enjoying it whilst eating a fucking strawberry. Only Dazai, man. Like, what? Oh, so Rando like is so correct in being like, yeah, like, what? It's so concerning being just like, yeah, what? That's like just like, oh, there's nothing wrong with what I've just said, and Rando's just like, you will make a fantastic torturer, which ends up being true, unfortunately, during like Dazai's part of being in the Port Mafia. Yeah. Scarily so, you called that, Rando. This is all your fault. I'm just blaming you, because why not? So, goes on and obviously says, it's like, yeah, you're going to make a great torturer. And he's just like, oh, thanks. And then brings up like, well, how are you going to get like the sheep involved? And he's like, oh, I'll just trick them in coming. It's easy. Like, it's easy as pie. Don't need to do much with them. And then he goes on about like how the sheep and like Chuuya have got themselves in like this own little circumstance and whatnot, but it's just easy to kind of like manipulate and whatnot. And which then brings us to this like very philosophical like theory moment where he's like, oh, just kind of like the raw meat theory. And like me, Rando is just like, what the fuck's the raw meat theory? So Dazai just been like, right, story time, let's go. So basically the whole theory is like 3 men are at a yakiniku, if I've said that correctly. And basically like raw meat over like a grill and whatnot, like kind of like that kind of thing. So basically, just to try and shorten it down a little bit, 3 men fighting over food, and over the progressive amount of time, because if there's like only one bit of food and like one man just eats it all kind of thing, right? So over the progression of time, like first it was all nicely cooked, and then because over time one of the people within this group would be trying to take the food earlier, so the food was like undercooked slightly every single time. They end up eating raw meat so that they're guaranteed to get some food, even though that they know that the cooked meat is obviously the better way to have the food. However, they all have to eat the raw meat, because if they don't like follow this whole mind game of like, hey, I'm going to take this meat quicker than you, like, then they get no food. So it's basically a weird twisted means of what to do to live, right? So it's just like, that's what the sheep are like, and then the sheep have got themselves in this kind of situation, and they don't realise that they're in that kind of situation. And Dazai is loving it. He's just like, oh, see the things you get to see as part of the underworld? I was like, wow. He just like laps it up with all this lovely little twistedness that is the world. He is perfect. At this stage, he is perfect for being in the fucking mafia, which is not a great thing. However, he's good at his fucking job, or being involved with it and whatnot, which is very upsetting. But, yeah. So, Randall gets the idea and is like, oh, because if you try and stop it, like, then it doesn't always work out. And it's like, yeah, because basically for it to work, everyone needs to stop what they're doing and like basically be considerate of people. I.e., you all have to cook your meat, but that's not going to happen because there's always going to be that one person that wants to have all of it. So, ta-da-da-da-da. So through that, it ends up being like, oh, Randall, you know, like, that kind of situation well, because obviously you're a veteran within the underworld, like, you've seen it all happen and whatnot. And then he goes, yeah, well, under the old boss, I was a grunt, and basically, I was just meaningless, and, like, I was sent to the front lines to die, like, all the time. I was just basically a nice little, like, human bodyguard, like, well, bodyguard kind of thing. I could just get wasted and disposed of, like, it was nothing. And then Mori took over, and he made me an executive. Yay! Because he saw my potential, because basically the only reason why I lived all the time was because of my ability. Woo. Oh, and then he makes a comment being like, obviously, because like he appreciates what Mori's done for him, he will do anything for Mori. Like, even the fact that he's helping out in this whole investigation in the old boss and whatnot in Arabaki. And Dazai's like, oh, good, that's good to know, that's very interesting. And like Randall brings up, it's like, oh, well, earlier on you had said that you knew like what was going on, like how this was all happening and whatnot. Were you just saying that, or were you just saying that just to like be mean to Chuuya? And of course, Dazai, being Dazai, it's just like, oh, both, obviously. Like, I had to annoy Chuuya. I had to win my bet. He had to guarantee his fucking win over a bet. Because Chuuya's still stupid enough that he doesn't realise that you do not bet against Dazai. Regrets. So, Rando just trying to play it off and whatnot, and he's just like, so, who is it? And Dazai just goes, oh, Rando, it's you, bitch. And there we go. End of the chapter. So we get like, if something like 23 pages or something like that. So good sized chapter. Good sized chapter. And good solid like chunk. And it's just sad when you realise it's like, oh, this means that this is going to happen next, which means we've maybe only got like a few more phases left, which is heartbreaking. I'm thinking we're maybe going to get about... Oh, see, I want to guess how many there's going to be. And I'm going to be completely wrong. But I feel like 18 would be the max. I wanted to actually say 15, but then I'm thinking the next one's the 11th. And I'm like, well, actually, 15 might actually still be a shout. So we might have 15 phases. No, okay, it has to be 15 phases. It is literally called 15 years. There has to be 15 phases. There has to be 15 chapters. Like, even if it has to be like, you know, the very first one where there was like 65 fucking pages, and that's phase, like, that's like phase 15, like chapter 15, and there's like 60 odd pages again. Yes, see, I hope that Hoshikawa's worked this out, because that would be perfect. That would be absolutely perfect. 15 phases for 15 years. Yes. I just realised that I was actually very well behaved in that I didn't take a lot of moments to break off and be like, oh my god, Hoshikawa was amazing. Even though I should have. It wouldn't be me if it wasn't. But apart from obviously the beginning part where the like that whole dark intro thing, but it's really just like screaming out for a Stormbringer adaptation, and then like just saying how cute Dazai looked, like putting up the button, like see just the general outlook and like the mood of this chapter. I fucking loved it. Like it's just so good. Oh, Dazai just looks so adorable the majority of the time, even when he's like plotting to fucking kill Chuuya through the fucking pit. Also, the bit where like Chuuya's falling down still looks really good. Chuuya's definitely a favourite, and oh, speaking of, like I said, I've said in previous other videos, follow like Hoshikawa on Twitter, because you get like wee random bonus illustrations, and see the one they did for this month of Chuuya. Oh, it's so good. Also, it's like bi-colours as well, so it's like, yes, pride. Love it. It literally is just fucking pride colour, like bi-colours. It's great. It is literally now my wallpaper. Like, it's that fucking beautiful. It just makes me so happy to look at it. It's just so beautiful. Oh, it's so good. So yeah, do that if you haven't already. They don't post that much, but like still, at least like maybe once a month you get a nice new illustration, because generally they kind of bring out an illustration to do with something with the series. So yeah. But, oh, right, let me know your wee thoughts down below. Like, what do you think of the chapter? Obviously, next month, we're going to get fucking Chuuya breaking in. Oh, I'm so excited for next month already, because you know it's going to look so good. There is also going to be a high chance that, like, it's going to be like a double spread of him coming in, like, oh, see if it's not. I'm going to be so sad now. I should be writing this. No, actually no. I'll leave that to Hoshikawa. And, well, technically Asagiri, because it's his story. But, oh, so good. So yeah, we will be back next month with the next chapter. I do this like every single time I look at the Raws and stuff, and I panic because it's like, oh, it's going to be like in the 9th month, i.e. it's like the September issue. But I could forget, but that technically, like, it works out fine because this is the August issue, despite that we're in June. But I always panic, and I'm just like, like, we're missing a month, and I'm like, no, it's fine. And I literally have to go back a month, like, so, like, to last month's, like, Raws to make sure that I'm not deluding and thinking that we're going to miss a month. I hate it. I'm so fucking stupid. I do this every single month. Like, without fail, I forget that I need to think, like, 2 months ahead. Or, like, 3 months ahead, technically. And I always forget that. And then I panic. And then I'm thinking, oh no, I'm not going to get another chapter. And it's like, no, you're fine. You're just an idiot. Oh, but anyway, we will be back then, and there will be a new chapter of the mainline next week at some point, whatever that shall be. Yes, I had to think about that there. So, and then, like, the following week after that, we have season 5, which means all the Bungo content for, like, the next, also, 11 episodes. Sorry, I am pissed. But we'll get to that in the anime videos. We'll not do that here. But yeah, so plenty of content to come, and that's not including all the other things that I actually plan to do now that I am settled. So let's go. So if you want more Bungo related content, you can subscribe. Woohoo! I have a playlist full of videos because basically that's all I do now. I do the odd other video. But this year it's fucking Bungo Stray Dogs year because it's our year, people. It's our year. Oh, it's a great year. I'm so buzzing. So anyway, until next time, I'm AJ and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.